I'm not going to lie. I don't care much for inspired by a true story movies. Not because the super serious ones take themselves way too super seriously, or because the goofy ones tend to take serious circumstances and make them overly goofy to appeal to the family film audience, or because some of them, like The Strangers, take a true event and spin it into an incredibly messed up scenario from hell. Though actually that movie was pretty dang good. No, it's because I tend to know exactly how it's going to end. You have either the Titanic example, where we know a lot of people are going to die thanks to one of the ice cubes and God's Mountain Dew voltage going rogue, or every trailer takes that teen drama approach, where we literally see a summary of the movie from start to finish and it completely eliminates the need to see the movie at all. That being said, Big Miracle was actually fairly decent. Not a masterpiece by any means, and some of the acting, particularly the kid actors, leaves a lot to be desired. But it's not a bad movie, and definitely not as hopeless as the trailers made me think it would be. It's a movie that falls into the same vein as Cool Runnings, a family film that is comedic without reaching the point of stupidly goofy, while handling its source material seriously enough that the adult audience can appreciate the story. However, unlike Cool Runnings, which is possibly my favorite IBATS movie ever, it has some rather annoying flaws. 1. The aforementioned kid acting, which, while not as bad as the kid in a certain unnamed prequel to a certain unnamed trilogy that was recently re-released in 3D and 2. Kristen Bell's character, Jill Gerard, is a female reporter fighting for relevance in a man's world. As a feminist, I really like the idea of this small side story, but it never really goes anywhere, unfortunately. 3. The intermittent cuts to kids and their families throughout the movie were just annoying. The first few times were fine. We see the public reaction to the whales and their turmoil, and that's fine. But seeing the same kids again and again and again just gets old and redundant. Taking this out would have made this movie an insignificant 3 minutes shorter, and would have made it more enjoyable. These complaints, and a few other minor things aside, it's actually a fairly decent movie. The pacing is consistent for the most part, the portrayals of all cultures were handled extremely well without going overly PC, and there were a few scenes, one in particular, where you're likely to feel legitimate emotional tugs on your heartstrings. If you're a fan of IBATS movies, an animal rights activist, or just have a soft spot for animals, or if you happen to be a kid, then you'll probably enjoy this movie and find my rating lower than you really think it should be. If you're none of these, but have to see it because you, 1, have kids, 2, have a spouse that really wants to see it, or 3, drunkenly stumbled into the wrong theater, then you can breathe easily because you aren't going to suffer through a bad movie. In fact, you may even find yourself enjoying it. I give this movie 6 out of 10. Ah, the gray. Okay, you've seen the trailers. Liam Neeson wakes up from a dream where he's in bed with the incredibly hot Anne Openshaw to find that he is stuck in a snow-filled wasteland with other guys and surrounded by wolves. So he tapes broken bottles to his knuckles, grabs a knife, and proceeds to kick the crap out of the wolves that are trying to kill him and his companions as they fight through the wilderness. Open and shut case, right? Not exactly. The trailers are incredibly misleading as to what this movie is really about. It's not an action movie with the Liam Neeson from Taken destroying everything in his path. It's an amazingly done survival movie that takes a less superhuman incarnation of Taken's Liam Neeson and throws him into an impossible situation along with a small group of survivors from the same airplane that he came from. The Gray is filled to the brim with atmosphere, tension, passion, death, depression, and wolves. The characters, some with more or less screen time than others, are both relatable and not at the same time as we come to know them, again, some more than others, as they fight nature itself. They're all outcasts, essentially, with their own personal demons and backstories, along with personalities that range from the relatively boring to that of the arrogant jerkface. Now, Neeson, as the brooding Otway, stands out from these guys because, well, he's Liam Neeson. He's the voice of Aslan, Darkman, and Qui-Gon Jinn, one of the only good things about The Phantom Menace. Fact is, this is an excellent movie that begs to be seen. You'll be on the edge of your seat from start to finish, with moments of banter and honest humor that lull you into a sense of calm, only to have the tables turned time and time again as we head toward the conclusion. The ending itself is one of the most powerful scenes seen in a movie in recent history, and it will leave you breathless as the credits roll. But don't leave yet. As with any good movie or video, wait until after the credits to see a little something extra. My rating for The Grey is 8 out of 10.